All right, I guess we can get this show on the road.
He's not here tonight.
I hadn't seen
He's always late.
Oh. Hey, he's here, right?
I'll call the meeting to order. Oh, do we need you got a roster or a sign-in sheet?
Oh, I didn't, but it's over here.
Is that where I stole the can from?
Yeah, this is where you stole the can.
Okay.
So she makes sure she gets everybody in here.
Right. Look, here you guys.
I'm just signing.
Yeah, sorry, I stopped you. Alright. Glasses.
Everyone's got a copy of their
I don't know if
minutes.
it's my glasses or my eyes.
We can review the
You know?
minutes. Really, we had some expenses. It was cold. The electric bill in the library and here were both kind of high. It's like at my house, it was high.
Yeah, exactly.
So nothing astronomical, just it is what it is. I know we're keeping this off whenever we're not using it, so it's not like it's keeping it.
But
on
I
all the
did
time.
tell Darnell while it was freezing to keep it on.
Yeah.
Because he had turned it off.
Busted
And I
pipes.
told him, I said, if you keep it off and it freezes, then we're gonna have to pay plumbing things. So he had it on.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of money from First Guarantee, or deposited from franchise from Centerpoint, so that's going to start trickling in.
Yeah.
We moved some money to help cover some expenses until we get it back. We can move that back as soon as we get some money in. But that's pretty much it. Nothing really that jumps out too crazy. It's like we pay an electric bill and then we get money back from Sparkos.
And
We're swapping the same.
Swap money around.
Our installation and everything to get the phone and the internet is $305.
Yes,
We hadn't gotten a bill yet, but
we do have the internet and the phone.
but that's just to get it installed. I think it's $105 or $110 a month that we're going to have to pay.
But that's, if I just get a motion to approve the minutes from last month.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I get a second?
I second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Alright.
All right, I guess we can go over some old business. First off, I guess it's not really anything we're gonna make a motion on, just a discussion. The water department, Blanchard Water, with all the problems they had with the cold weather. Actually, as I've said before, we're usually pretty lucky because we're at the bottom of the bowl, so everybody else loses pressure. Only thing we got to worry about is they cut us off whenever they want to give everybody else pressure. So we were very fortunate. I think we lost it maybe a day, and then maybe a few hours another day for a little while. I know some people lost it up to like 8 or 9 days up in Blanchard. So I don't know what they're going to do. I'm probably going to go to the next.
Water board meeting?
Well, I don't know about that. The
Mayor Clark
deal
That'll be
is
in March.
because that's going to be a pretty good discussion on what they're going to do. I don't know. I really have no. I mean, as the village, we're kind of at the mercy of the water department. We don't have enough money to have our own water system, but so we're going to figure out all that. I don't know. I have some suggestions as far as, but it's going to also take some money and stuff as far as possibly getting connected to Vivian's, but
Water?
like a backup scenario. I talked to, after last Christmas, I talked to Ron Festervan and Mayor Gillams with the idea, because Vivian comes all the way to this side of the interstate on 170. They have a fire hydrant right there, and that's Vivian's water. And then Blanchard going towards Herndon is at the bottom of that hill right there on this side of the bayou. So it's less than a quarter of a mile you could connect both systems. I don't know if that's, the chemicals they use and all that, but whenever they shut us off because they're trying to backfill Blanchard for all these problems, if we had the option of being fed by Vivian, but I mean, that's just me just thinking outside the box a little bit. So, but I don't know. I think Blanchard's kind of, I wouldn't say bit off more than they can chew, but they're finding,
They're having
they're having growing pains for sure as far as keeping everything up going whenever they do have a freeze, and it's going to freeze every year. That's
unfortunately.
we live
Let's
in door
pray that's the
together.
last one, maybe.
So yeah, hopefully that's the last one this year. So, but the only thing I do have to say is Perry is over the water department, and anytime I call him, he answers the phone and gives me what he can tell me about it. So he's been very forthcoming. And, and I usually try to get it out as much as I can, either in the text message, everybody here, and then we put it on the Facebook page where everybody can kind of understand where we're at. I don't try to bother them because, I'm sure there's
Being
plenty of people bothering them. So I get about one conversation a day, and then I go with it. So.
Well, I called him and I won't tell you the answer.
So that's the water department. Mr. Bradford, I spoke to him yesterday about a couple of things. Obviously, the collective bargaining agreement with the church. In the next 2 weeks, he's going to have everything wrapped up, and we'll be able to put it to our official journal and get it publicized and get all that going. Also, about the park down here, we reached out to Andy Craig, and him and Mr. Bradford talked after they did some research on the end of the park of land where Fredco owns, and they said that it's better than, instead of us having to pay for a survey, that they can use the property description from the tax assessor, and then Mr. Bradford's going to type up a little letter to get that signed over, and
So
get it all.
It'll be a lot less cheap. I mean, a
lot less expensive, and Mr. Sarkozy will be happy because it will give him something where he can use for his taxes and everything, like he donated it. So. We should have something for sure by the next meeting on both of those. I'm looking through everything. We haven't purchased a computer yet. We're gonna wait for the money to get a little bit better before we did all of that. We did get the internet going. She talked about that.
And the phone.
And the phone, yes. We're gonna get the number. Once I get everything set in there, I'll get the number, and then we'll start.
Oh, I have it, but I don't know what it is. It's 0048, I think. I'll get it to you.
Okay. And once I get everything set up there, I'll start. Because everything kind of goes to a Gmail that Amy looks at, and then she sends it to me. And so we'll kind of get all that more mainstreamed and get all our numbers and all that changed on all the official documents, or official places it's listed in the state and all of that. Because some of them are kind of spread out and kind of just hasn't been all organized in the last few years. So. I haven't heard anything on the sunflower sign or anything like that.
No.
Whenever
Well, they did send me a message that the online was 95 votes for the one that we had voted for.
All right.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard a word.
Okay.
And that was supposed to be finished
by the end of the year. The money was supposed to be spent by the end of the year. So I don't know where we're at on that.
And Johnny is working on getting our sign done.
Whenever it get dry enough to get in there.
Yeah, it's got, yeah.
Only new business we have, we passed it around. It's an AEP franchise resolution. We have to do an ordinance. It's 10 years. We did the last one for 10 years. It's 3%. That's what it's been. And I was talking today. I said, well, we could go up to 5%, 6%, and make some more money. And realized, well, they're just going to send the money. It's just another form of taxes. They're just going to send it all to us, and we're going to pay it. So I think it's best just to leave it 3% and be done with it. So, I mean, and that's basically this franchise agreement we have with SWEPCO. It just needs to be renewed. It's a 10-year. You can do up to 25 years. I think it's probably smart to leave it at 10 years and figure out where we're at every 10 years instead of being looped into something for 25 years. So what we'll do is get somebody to present that, and then we'll have a hearing on it 30 minutes before a meeting in March, and then we'll pass the, because it's a resolution, you have to put it in an ordinance. You have to make an ordinance, and we'll make an ordinance, and we'll get all this, and this is good through, or we have to have it done by the end of March. So once we get the ordinance and everything,
And I'll send it to him.
and send it to them, and then we'll have all that taken care of. And I don't know what all other ones we have. Obviously, we have CenterPoint.
We have CenterPoint, we have Comcast, and we have what's the telephone company? Brightspeed.
Right. So those are all the franchise fees that we have, and it's all through utilities.
And that $917 that was included, that was from the year for CenterPoint. Yeah, that was their franchise tax for the whole year. They just send it once a year.
Okay.
SWEPCO sends it to us by the quarter. So.
And that is all the stuff I have. If we could just get it's not is it a motion to present?
I'll fix it. It's just a little paragraph.
But do we need to get somebody?
Who wants to do that? Amy, you can do it. I'll fix you as the.
I propose
Yeah,
that we
yeah.
continue.
Yeah.
The franchise
and
agreement for
change
10
the
years.
ordinance, yeah, and pass the ordinance. Yeah.
Okay,
It's just a little paragraph that you put in there. I'll have it. Yeah.
okay.
Is that okay?
Do we
And
have to
then
do it?
next
We have to
week,
vote.
next month, we'll vote on it.
Gotcha,
Okay, I got you. That makes sense.
gotcha.
And I think that's pretty much it. It's, the fire chief of Fire District 7 passed away Saturday, Chief Danny Richardson. He had a brain bleed after, we're not sure when it happened. He had a subdural hematoma that was, they went and removed and had brain surgery to remove that. That's probably been 2.5 weeks ago. And then he never really recovered very well, and then went downhill over the last week and a half, and passed away Saturday. So you'll see a pretty good bit of stuff. He was a retired district chief of Shreveport, and then been at Fire District 7 up here, that's our area, in Oil City's where his main office was for the last 16 years.
Wow.
So I worked hand in hand with him for a long time when I was over the ambulance service in North Caddo, and I still sit on the board over there. So
When is that board thing? Is it 2 years or 4 years?
it's
Because we have to recommend you.
4 years, I believe. Yeah. So, but they'll have a celebration. They haven't talked about any arrangements yet, but it's going to be, it'll be probably the next week or so. There's an interim. We appointed it because after he got out of surgery, his mental state was not in any shape to make any decisions. So we did have an emergency meeting and appointed a interim fire chief that was actually just one of the day captains, kind of the next guy in line. So we'll get all that process going, and probably by the middle of the year, December time, I would suggest. I don't know exact dates. We'll appoint a new fire chief and all of that stuff. But,
Yeah.
Fire chief of Fire District 7.
Fire District 7, yes, that covers Oil City, Morrisport, Belcher, Gillum. We're pretty much almost at Thunder Road's where the line for District 8, another one up that way. So yeah, he's seen a lot of changes. He was the second paid fire chief there. The first one stayed for about 4 or 5 years, Kevin Moore, if that long. But he did a lot of good things over the last 16 years, because before that, they've only had paid guys there for maybe 18 or 19 years. It hasn't been long. So he's really, brought the department along, without any asking for any more money. There hasn't been any tax increases on for any of the services. He's grown with the area, and with new trucks, three paid guys per shift. I mean, he's done a lot of good things for the area and watched it grow over the years. So. And that's all I have. Anybody have anything else? All right. We get a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion.
A second.
Anybody discussion for that? All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Take it on.
See y'all March
I had a long day. Mama come home, so that's good. Yeah, thank God.
March 5th.
Back to normal. March 5th is the
March
next.
5th, yes.
Put that on there. Since I've been added on my phone, I've been really.
Okay, have you got Mr. Sample's telephone number?
I do.
Okay.
So you said the church thing will be in a couple of weeks. He'll have it all.
He'll have it all together, and we'll look at it next and figure out when we're going to put it to publication and all of that. We'll probably have to look at it one more time, and then in March we'll put it to publication. And when we do that, I talked to him about putting something on, like you doing a video and everything. He said once we do the official journal, then that can just be considered education on the project after that. But he said the official journal needs to come out first, where the people will have an understanding of where to look for it. So as soon as we get that process, we can do a little video on it. So, we forgot about that. This. I guess it's not officially yet. We're in the process of getting the lease agreement with Mr. Sample officially done for the next year. He just wants to do it by the year. That's for the bank building in there. He has one more year of being
For the bank building, you said?
one more year for
For the air
conditioner part, his portion of the air conditioner part to pay it.
One more
So
year.
next year, okay, let's see.
564 9557. And he doesn't know that. Because when I talked to him, he was wanting to figure out how he could pay.
I'll just talk to him and tell
Okay.
him that
He's forgot that he did that, I guess.
I'll just talk to him and
I'm
tell
gonna
him.
leave that to you, 'cause I end up chunking them anyway. I
All
mean, I
my
should
hard
say,
work.
I'm so sorry.
That's
You saw my desk today, right? And all that other I have to do, so.
So yeah, the
Well,
water
I
deal is
work
it's going to be interesting how they how Blanchard handles the water. Todd Hopkins has said something to me back when he was in there that he thought that maybe there had to be eventually have to be a separate water board because the Blanchard Town Council is controlling the water board that's a Blanchard deal, but it's not representing the area that it serves.
Yes.
Right. But I don't know how because like Oil City, they're just selling water to Oil City and Oil City's still running their department. So but here they took over this system. So I don't know how that's
Well, I mean, just from experience from living here forever, the water we have now is the best water we've had in a really, really long
Yeah.
time. And I mean, Vivian water, I don't know unless it's changed. It used to really.
Right.
and really.
and it would be just in emergency situations.
What
Okay.
about, how would you bill is what?
Well, they would put a meter. I would think what they could do, and this is just, I mean, you put a meter right there when you turn it on. So whatever you do is you say you Blanchard collects the bill for everybody normally,
Yeah.
and then
And then
Vivian
they
just
can
collects
pay.
it, just pays them for whatever the
Right.
meter
For
is going to
whatever
that.
was used there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law installs all that stuff, so he's the
Yeah.
one that's kind of oh yeah, he can do it, but I mean,
Well, I
Who's
mean,
got an
wasn't
engineer?
Oil City was dumping 1 million gallons a day. I mean, that was kind of an unusual, catastrophic.
They
right.
couldn't find where it was going.
Well, and then the first time they had under 12 mile, they had it. The poly pipe they used to go under the bayou when it gets really really cold like that, and then they said that I guess they didn't think it was going to get that cold down on the ground. It shrunk and there's a gap in it, and that's where the first leak was in that 16-inch main that they had to shut down, and it took them a while. But they were supposed to be able to back feed us through Oil City, and I think that's whenever the leak, they figured out there was a
It
leak
too
there.
much, yeah.
I
It's
think
crazy.
I think one of their deals is that they always blame it on the usage. Everybody usage. Well, I think they can handle everybody on a normal day, but when everybody starts cracking pipes and we have these leaks everywhere,
Well, and
the
people
plant
running
can't
their
keep
water,
up. Yeah.
dripping their water.
Well, and then people having leaks that they don't know about. It falls out. And it's,
I think 1 million gallon leak is a much bigger problem than people dripping.
right, and then they get
Yeah.
behind, and then they're trying to fill all the tanks, and they can't do all
My
that.
mother, I went over like 4 days before it came, and her sink, I said, Mama, why is your sink dripping? Well, it's gonna freeze. I said, it's 4 more days. Like, turn it off, you're killing us, right? I mean, it's because everybody does that, right? But
My father-in-law had
it was just a drip.
8
but
different
still.
things dripping in his house. I'm
Thank
like,
you, thank you. I have my own water. Y'all can
Yes.
have all this crap you want. I have my own water, and I have mine
Listen,
running.
when we
it was-
moved here, you couldn't, the water was real bad, so.
my water, my well for my irrigation, which I haven't treated in a while, but it's bad. Like you see wherever it goes, it just leaves a big old brown spot. So.
Yeah.
And you can see the old back in the '60s where they like every 2 or 3 months they'd have to put 100 pounds of salt in it. To,
Yeah, well,
treat
when
it.
we lived on the river, we had more salt in our water than anything.
Yeah.
We treated it. They treated
Well,
it.
Tommy and or Sonny, Sonny and them, they drilled like 2 or 3 over there that were no good, didn't they?
I know those new houses up there on the highway before you get to 173. All 3 of them. One of my buddies lived in there. They went like 200 or 300 foot down and never found good water. And they spend like it's a bill to treat their water. They spend like $75 a month just to treat their water. So it's like they got a well,
Well,
but
I
they
have
got a water.
gas in my water.
Really,
Yeah.
you light it on fire.
Yeah, you can.
You can do that up.
But like you
71
said, my wife was so petrified about having anything to flush her toilet with. She filled the bathtub up, and then she made all the kids take a shower because she didn't want to empty it. But the water was like crystal clear. I mean, it was blue and everything. It looked all pretty and everything. I was
Yeah.
like, look at here.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Do you know what? It's like they added a road or something down.
That's
there.
where the sand comes.
That's a sand.
They're gonna start
Randy
hauling
Allen is pumping sand off of his island under his lake, and then they're piling it up down there, and then they're going to start hauling it.
The reason they did that was so they wouldn't tear up 3049.
Yeah,
They
'cause
did
they'd
that.
do
They
that.
came out to 70.
So now they're gonna finish tearing up 71 where it is.
It's going to be interesting to see how they do that. I mean,
It's the crux of, we
From
live in the middle of an
173
oil
into
and gas
Shreveport.
field.
well,
It's bad.
what happened with
Well, yeah.
that is that whenever they built the interstate, they had to replace all of 71, but they didn't.
To Dixie.
To Dixie, and they didn't replace it. So that hadn't been replaced in 4050. That's why it's so nice this way, is because they replaced that all. As soon as they got down with 49 and they tore it up, doing all the construction, they replaced that, and then they get to there, and it's,
Yeah.
you just got to hold on to both hands.
I got 2 cars, I can't even drive down
No,
that
it's
road.
terrible.
It is.
It
The
is
vet
terrible.
can't even go down that road.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So I have to go on I-40.
I don't go that way anymore unless I absolutely
Well, I
have
do
to.
every morning, but that car can take it. It's my
Yeah.
other ones that can't.
Yeah. Oh,
But
yeah.
that's how the old road was. I mean, forever,
Oh,
the
yeah.
new road, I mean, 71 was great, but the old road was that way, right?
And they
then-
recapped it, and it's still. I went down it today, and it's starting to get down there towards the gym and the old gym. It's starting to have big cracks and everything like it used to. But back then, like right there where Prater's farm is, you had to hold on. 'Cause
Oh,
you-
yeah.
That's how it is on Old City Belgium Road.
yeah,
Oh,
it is.
it's
The old-
Horrible.
it is.
But
bad.
I can't drive because it's oil field trucks, and that's how
They're-
we all
they're the
make
ones
living
that are
around
running
here.
it.
You know, it's oil and gas. I mean,
The transporters
Yeah.
and the
it's like the
rigs.
guy that Jake breaks out here. He lives down your road, I think.
Oh yeah, that's lives in Miss Helen's old house.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it has
hear
a
him
little
coming
voice.
from when he starts downshifting, but you know what? He's making a living. He's
Yeah.
not hurt.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and it's not the
I
middle
mean,
of
it
the night.
doesn't mean it doesn't grind. Well, yeah, it is.
Oh.
But that's okay. I tell myself when he comes through, he's just trying to make a living, feed his family, right?
But yeah, and I'm interested to see what it does to 71 and how they're going to operate
Yeah.
that. I was told that I don't know.
Did y'all
how
get a letter
successful-
from them? None of y'all got a letter from them? The transportation department.
Oh no, should we?
Oh, yeah. They asked me and I told them
They ask you what?
about
Oh,
the
really?
roads and stuff around here. I
Really?
said, you need to fix 71 so I can drive my cars down it.
No,
Why
I
did
didn't
you
get
get
a
a-
letter.
They
Why
sent
did
you
you
a
get a-
random letter?
Like it was a
It
survey or
said
something?
that I was an alderman.
Oh,
Y'all didn't
there
get
was
the
a letter
alderman.
about a meeting.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I emailed them and they emailed me back.
Yeah, they sent a general letter
See, I
saying
didn't
that
get
there
one.
was a meeting coming up and if you wanted to attend. But
Well,
it
it's during
wasn't.
the day when everybody works.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Right.
Well, they came.
Well, I mean,
But he
We
said
could
he's
go
gonna
City
pass
Belgium
it on.
Road.
But
Yeah,
I told
I mean,
him
my
there's people
experience
getting
was-
killed on
They
that
didn't
road
patch.
because of the holes and stuff.
That might be from that door to that wall.
And that was it.
That was it. And it was in front of, it wasn't in front of our, it was like, not even where,
Well, it's
there's
so
one
funny.
little stretch there that's pretty good. That's the one they
It's
did.
so funny when you are.
If
come
you know
off
of any other
49, it's so
places,
smooth and all of a
I'll
sudden it
email
just
them
goes
until
up.
the other
And
places.
It's not
And
going
you
to
need
hurt,
a
but that is
rig,
one of the most
you know, they're moving
political
a rig on there.
departments in
And
the
girl,
whole
them
state
people
legislature.
right.
Is if it depends if our state representative
I
is
don't- because they're
in
planning
good with the
special.
governor, and the governor feels like he wants to allocate money for this region to do this project. That's why it took Caddo Lake so long to get a bridge.
I even told them about the trucks. I said when they close I-49, they're all going to come down 71, and then when the Sands Head opens, all of them are going to come
Well, the
down.
good
it.
thing about they won't get, they will turn. I would think they're going to turn off right there, 169, and get on interstate as soon as they can.
I hope so.
You know, because they have one up in Doddridge, and we never see those because they dump them right on the 49, and they just run 49 down here. Because there's a big one up there. But I'm interested to see how it does with the roads. But an old history deal about this area, Mr. Danny would probably could tell it more than anything. But it was either Earl or Huey P. Long. The way that he was political is if you supported him, he would. That was when they were paving all these roads. He would pave the roads, but if you didn't,
I'm gonna call.
he and Bruce Lynn's granddaddy that on Lynn Plantation right now wasn't a supporter of him. So the dirt road started about 15, 20 yards before his place, and then it was for the 150 yard, 200 yard section of his house, and then the concrete started again. And that was just how. That's how Huey P. Long was.
Yeah.
He did his political stuff, and he wouldn't go to paving. And he stayed on top of all that stuff. Newt told me that story. He said, "Yeah, my grandpa talked about it. He didn't have, for 20-something years, he didn't have concrete in front of their house or blacktop, and it's because his grandpa, did not support Huey P. Long, and that's how they politically moved it." But their whole excuse for the roads so bad in Louisiana, and it makes sense. is that supposedly Louisiana has more bridges than any other state, by a long shot, because once you get down there, how many big bridges and the maintenance on the bridges, they're spending a bunch of their money trying to maintain bridges instead of and that's their excuse, but I mean it's still that drove me crazy because it's been that rough ever since they quit.
I know the last 3 years it has been.
Oh, it's been that rough since 49's been there for 20 years now, and I mean, and it was like, oh, they're gonna redo 71, and they did it to Dixie. That it's just, because my brother lives right there when you come in up in the hill on the flashing light, he lives off to the left, and it's like you just hold on. And I hardly ever go that way because of that, because especially pulling my boat, because it will bang you to death.
All my low cars were from there. And then I have to go through the potholes with this one.
Right. Oh yeah. Right there, and it's about probably 250 yards after it becomes rough. There's a big old hole right there. I mean, it's
And in
a
front of that
huge.
church, that's where those 4 people got killed. And that had something to do with the road.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in the Muslim.
And I told them all that too.
Oh yeah.
We don't need a bunch of people getting killed because of the road.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll fix it.
That would be a nice section to get fixed for
I
sure.
was surprised he emailed me that the next day.
Yeah,
I thought, wow.
And that one that she's talking about, the one 530 going towards Old City, and it doesn't have any shoulders, and it's off. And once you get over the bayou, it's bad off the curve, and it is rough as all get out. It's one of those ones they don't need to post a speed limit because you're not going to go over 45 miles an hour. If you are, you're going to kill yourself because it throws you everywhere. So we'll see. I mean, that's if you really want to complain, the person to complain to is your state representative because he's the one that can move the DOT because that's all state money and it's all state funded through, and they do it by section or areas. Like, hey, this area gets a lot of amount of money, and that's how the political stuff works is down there as far as like, hey, if you do this, you can help out and we'll help you out by getting your money, your area allotted a certain amount of money. So.
If she can learn to do a little.
A lot of people are griping about it. That's what I told them. I said people are just complaining about it. It really needs to be fixed. But I didn't know any
That's
other
the
roads.
those two areas are probably the worst that I really noticed.
When our daughter would come over, there'd be a fundraiser. He's like, I ain't selling nothing.
The parish roads, I haven't seen any bad parish
Exactly.
roads.
That's like
It's always the state roads. The parish, they do a decent job of keeping certain, but I mean, they only have to do mostly neighborhoods and those small roads. They're not.
I noticed they fixed some of ours out here, the little holes. But there is one right there at the corner that they didn't fill.
Yeah.
But the other one's on up towards the 71.
Right.
If you notice, they filled them within the last week, I guess.
Yeah.
They changed things.
I don't
Just
know.
put some.
I was pretty impressed. I went fishing over the other side of Jefferson a week after the ice storm, and the ice storm beat up with Texas roads, and they had full road sections shut down, redoing the road, and I was like, it ain't even been a week, and these roads are, because they tear up real easy with all that ice busting them up, and they had full grown, and they were replacing, not just patching holes. I mean, they were coming through and patching half a mile area, and I was like, that's why Texas roads are as good as they are.
Yeah.
I mean, it ain't even been a week, and they've
And
got
ours
everybody
takes
out there.
5 years.
Yeah, but I mean, Texas has got bukus of money too.
They should have been.
We need
Because I know telling that ain't good in a bid process. I mean, if you have it out there in a week, that was an emergency fund that they just spent to fix the roads. I'm sure.
Maybe they just didn't. I think the person that left had the documents, but the new person.
my stuff organized for tomorrow.
These new people over there.
I don't know if they do or not, but I don't either, so I can't. It's not oh. I have no clue. I can't even stand there and tell.
Hey, want to talk to you?
Who? Me?
Daddy, me?
Me,
Yeah, got it. Okay, Dave. Thank you.